the fight that's reportedly being worked on for December 19th in Miami?
Did I see the fight being worked on December 19th in Miami?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know which fight I'm talking about?
No. Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. I think everybody's going to get what they finally...
The fight world has officially erupted into chaos after Dana White stepped in and demanded that Jake Paul cancel his fight with Anthony Joshua. And this time, it isn't the usual playful back-and-forth trash talk Dana throws at Jake. No, this is Dana White at his harshest, saying what he has wanted to say for a very long time, only now with even more anger because Jake Paul is crossing a line no one thought he would ever cross. Jake Paul is preparing to fight one of the most dangerous heavyweight boxers alive, a fighter who is still elite, still active, still powerful, and still fully in his prime. Dana is furious because, in his eyes, Jake Paul is stepping into something far beyond entertainment or hype. He's stepping straight into real heavyweight danger. And Dana White is making it clear, this isn't a YouTuber boxing match anymore. This is a collision with a man who can end a fight with one punch and send you to another dimension with the next.
To break down the face-off, what do you think about his size? Did you say anything? Did he say anything?
No, we didn't say anything, but he looks intense, focused, locked in. He's obviously very, very tall. Looking up, my tallest opponent. My eyes are at his, chest level. But yeah, he's locked in. I'm locked in. I don't think there's fear in his eyes or in my eyes.
Yeah, Jake, tell us the difference between your face-off with Gervonta, where you're a head taller looking down, and now looking up at Joshua.
No, it's surreal. All of it is very, very funny, and my neck started to hurt after looking up for a little bit. But this is what we signed up for, and he's very tall, but that means I can use my speed and my size to my advantage as well.
This question's for Joshua. Oscar De La Hoya, Nate Diaz, and Tyson Fury all said that Jake is going to knock you out. Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself. Yep. I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
He did say he's going to put £1 million on it. Would you be willing to take that bet with Tyson Fury?
Respectfully, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say, or I'm not here for any of that betting and nonsense. I'm here to fight, and that's all it is. Once I get the job done, I'm going to collect my check, cash it, and I'm going to focus on the next one. My bet is on me doing a number on him. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. And for Jake, Tyson Fury's willing to put £1 million on you to win. How does it make you feel that his brother Tommy won't even fight you for $10 million?
A lot of people in this sport, believe it or not, are actually bitch made. Anthony can attest to that.
That's correct.
That's why we're up here on this stage, because we're both always down to run it and throw hands. Tommy's, lost. He's a lost puppy. No one watches his fights. I'm the only thing that he's got, so he should be on his knees begging for the fight. We did offer him it, and he said he wanted more time. So we tried. We've been trying. Same with KSI. These guys just don't want to step up to the plate. I'm not afraid of anyone or anything. So I'll go to the bigger challenge, a bigger fight, and do bigger things with Joshua, and that's why we're...
With Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look, a bit chubby.
On everything I've been seeing on social media lately, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Just wanted to come in here and remind everybody that bum couldn't beat me when I basically had a broken hand. I had one hand and he still lost. Jake Paul, I'm still your daddy, and everybody weighing this fight up, don't bother, because he ain't worth a shilling. And the loss will always be there, Mr. Paul. Take it easy and have a good day.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, 50-50 fight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ... I mean, decapitate's a strong word, but, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh, well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world...
Donna, White has spent years telling the world that Jake Paul needs to fight a real boxer. He called him a clown. He mocked his opponents, saying Jake only picks retired MMA fighters, smaller guys and easy paydays. For the longest time, Dana said Jake Paul would never dare step into the ring with someone his own size, let alone an elite heavyweight. But the moment Jake finally does it, the moment he signs the biggest, most dangerous contract of his entire career, the moment he agrees to fight Anthony Joshua, a two-time heavyweight world champion, suddenly Dana White wants him to cancel the fight. Suddenly it's too dangerous. Suddenly it's irresponsible. Suddenly Jake Paul is taking a risk he can't handle. And this is exactly why the entire fight world is calling out Dana's hypocrisy. For years, Dana said Jake Paul would never face a real boxer. But the second Jake Paul actually steps up and does exactly that, Dana White flips the script and says the fight is a joke. A disaster waiting to happen. And that Jake is going to get seriously hurt. It's the biggest reversal we've ever seen. Because Jake Paul is not fighting an old legend, not fighting a retired champion, not fighting an undersized opponent. He is fighting Anthony Joshua, one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet. A fully active, fully powerful, fully elite monster of a boxer. And now suddenly, Dana White doesn't want the fight to happen at all.
Do you want to fight Jake Paul for 100 million? You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that 100 million for what would be and will be and should be easy work for AJ. Like, well, why are you going to turn down 100 million? AJ should and could, more should, knock out Jake Paul in a round. Like if Jake Paul was over here fighting under our British Boxing Board of Control, I don't think it would be a Southern Area Cruiserweight champion. AJ is a former unified heavyweight champion of the world that I still believe is a top 10 heavyweight in the world. Like AJ should be able to destroy him. AJ is going to be 60 pounds or so bigger than him. AJ hits like a truck. AJ is a better boxer. Like this is a no contest.
Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul is happening. Who you got and how?
Man, you got to go with Anthony Joshua. You just got to go with Anthony Joshua on that. I think Anthony Joshua by knockout. Yeah, I think Jake will probably get knocked out.
Who did Terrence Crawford fight his 11th fight?
I don't know.
Who did Arthur Beterbiev fight? Jake Paul has found a way to make himself the cash cow early in his career to where we shouldn't care.
Jake Paul has become the fighter right now that everybody wants to fight because right now he is the cash cow. He made $40 million just off of Netflix.
He has found a way to do something with his following, get under people's skin to make people care about.
It's the perfect contradiction. When Jake doesn't fight real boxers, Dana mocks him. When he does fight a real boxer, Dana still mocks him. In Dana White's world, Jake Paul simply cannot win, no matter what he does. Dana even pushed the idea that this matchup might not be genuine at all. He hinted that if Anthony Joshua doesn't knock Jake Paul out instantly, then something must be off. He's already planting the idea that the fight could be fixed. Dana went as far as saying the only way this fight even makes sense is if Jake Paul managed to pull some strings behind the scenes. Because on paper, in reality, and in every universe we know, Jake Paul should not be able to compete with someone like Anthony Joshua.
Top 10, but I think top 5 heavyweight in the world. So it would be unthinkable. I mean, both AJ and myself would need to retire from the sport if we got beat against Jake Paul.
Consist of 8 3-minute rounds and both fighters will wear regulation 10-ounce gloves. Spencer, you are a boxer. For real, should this guy be anywhere near Joshua?
God help Jake Paul, that's all I can say. We saw that what Anthony Joshua had done to Francis Ngannou. He went out there and iced him in a couple of rounds. A guy coming from a different discipline. Well, this kid's coming from another level. You know, white collar boxing in 2018. Gone through the mill, and the only boxer really that he's actually boxed, a legitimate boxer he got beat by, and that was in Tommy Fury. Now he stepped up to the plate. Does he really believe that he can beat Anthony Joshua at heavyweight? All right, he's put a restriction in there. Anthony Joshua can't be no heavier than 245 pounds. Well, the last time he boxed Alexander Usyk, which was not that long ago, he was 245 pounds, so I don't see that being a big problem.
But we know why he said yes to it. Gazillions.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know the bizarre thing here, Jim? That this will be financially and number-wise, the biggest fight in boxing history.
Ever.
Viewed. The biggest viewed fight in boxing history ever. And there's been some great fights over time. That is insane, isn't it? And the highest paid fighters as well. What Jake Paul, they're an estimated £170 million split between these two. But Jake Paul, is he really that deluded that he thinks that he's going to go in there and beat Anthony Joshua?
Do you think he thinks he can do it, Simon? I don't know what you think.
And all of this has set the stage for one of the most chaotic moments in combat sports. Because the truth is simple. Jake Paul is stepping into a fight that is bigger, heavier, and more dangerous than anything he has ever touched. Dana White knows it. The boxing world knows it. And Jake Paul knows it too. Dana isn't just talking trash this time. He's warning him. He's saying loud and clear that Jake is crossing a line that even he never expected. Because Anthony Joshua is not a YouTuber, not an ex-MMA fighter, not a retired legend. He is a two-time heavyweight world champion with knockout power that can flip a fight with one clean punch. But here's the twist everyone is arguing about. Jake Paul has finally done the exact thing Dana White has been demanding for years. He took the risk. He signed the contract. He stepped into the deep end. And now Dana wants him to turn back. This is where the whole story becomes completely unreal. Because no matter what Jake Paul does, Dana White will never give him credit. If Jake fights small retired fighters, he's a coward. If Jake fights a real heavyweight, he's stupid. If Jake wins, it's scripted. If he loses, he's exposed. There is no winning with Dana. And that's why this fight has everyone arguing. Some believe Jake is out of his mind. Some think he deserves respect for taking the leap. And others believe that if he somehow survives, the conspiracy theories will shake the entire sport. But one thing is undeniable. Jake Paul is walking straight into a storm. A storm made of size, skill, power, and experience. Anthony Joshua hits harder, moves smarter, and has lived in the pressure Jake is only now discovering. This is the boldest move Jake Paul has ever made, the most dangerous fight he has ever accepted. And the world is watching to see whether this ends in glory or in disaster.
He markets himself in the space that he operates in. I don't get this Jake Paul or Logan Paul phenomenon, but I'm not the audience. It doesn't matter what I get. The opportunity for Netflix is that it's a drive to subscribe. They'll pay $100 million, and the wraparound fees that come from sponsorship and the event attendance. We saw that $20 million was generated in gate receipts for the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. So we know this is a $150-160 million fight. We know that it makes sense to Netflix to do it because in the last fight that they had with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, they developed 2 million new subscribers. The average lifetime value of a subscriber is $900. So if you look at that and say they're going to generate $2 billion in potential increased revenues as a result of paying these fighters £100 million, you can see the metrics of it. They're also retaining their base. They're also moving content into a different space, which is sport. So it all makes sense. It's like the mobile phone industry that I knew very well. Used to sell phones for nothing so people could get the airtime, and the airtime was where the money is. The content delivery is where the subscribers go to, and then they pay their subscription. So we all understand the model. As far as the fight is concerned, oh no, don't be silly. I mean, Anthony Joshua can go in his nightgown and beat Jake Paul. The issue is, does he hurt Jake Paul? How curated it is? I debated it with boxers, with Paul Smith and Duke McKenzie and Spencer about would Joshua go in there with a mindset, which is he knows he doesn't have to get out of second gear, so he doesn't have to do to Jake Paul what people fear he might do, which is knock him into the next life.
But he's not a punchbag, Jake Paul.
Yeah, at this level, is.
Well, he beat, albeit an aged Mike Tyson. He beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Mike Tyson, when we went out there to do that fight, and Simon gave me a lot of stick for it because I was saying Mike Tyson was actually going to put an end to this Jake Paul phenomenon that was going on. And when Mike Tyson got out the car, when we hit Texas, he climbed out the car and he could barely walk, Jim. He struggled to get up the stairs. I knew that I was in trouble for making those comments. I knew that. I sold the fight and I shouldn't have sold the fight. But this one, Anthony Joshua needs to keep his career alive, and by doing that, he has to get rid of Jake Paul very, very...
Taking this fight. Fans don't respect what he's done in the sport already. He's an Olympic gold medalist, two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. I sort of sympathize with him because I feel like if he doesn't beat him quicker than he beat Francis, people are just going to write it off. I'll ask you bluntly, have there been any discussions about there's an agreement, there's a secret contract? Have any of those discussions happened regarding this fight? It's an 8-round professional fight. AJ wouldn't have taken it if that was the stance it had to be, if it was an exhibition, if it was you've got to hold him up for 8 rounds. It wouldn't suit Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going in there to knock out
Jake Paul. Then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul?
all, I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead. At the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me two-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it. How are we even talking about this? He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on. Like, you can't be serious. You can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I? So it's just ludicrous.
Many arrests and accusations, but everyone has a past. We accepted that. But when you bring the past into the present with domestic violence, you are out, period. The reality is Gervonta fumbled the biggest bag of his career and ruined a relationship with the biggest streaming platform in the world. Make no mistake, this is the biggest fight of my career. I'm walking into the lion's den. I'm doing something that no one else has ever done before. I, Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua.
The fight world has erupted in chaos after Dana. White suddenly stepped in and demanded that Jake Paul cancel his fight with Anthony Joshua. And this time, it's not the usual playful trash talk. This is Dana, White at his angriest, saying the things he's been holding inside for years, but now louder because Jake Paul is doing something he never expected. Jake Paul is getting ready to fight one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet. A fighter who is still elite, still powerful, still active, and absolutely still in his prime. For years, Dana White mocked Jake. He said Jake only fights retired MMA fighters, smaller guys, easy matchups, circus events. But the moment Jake finally does the exact opposite, the moment he signs to fight Anthony Joshua, a two-time heavyweight world champion, Dana White suddenly flips the script. Suddenly it's too dangerous. Suddenly it's irresponsible. Suddenly Jake Paul can't handle this level. This is where the entire fight world is calling out the contradiction. When Jake doesn't fight real boxers, Dana laughs at him. When Jake does fight a real boxer, Dana still laughs at him. In Dana's eyes, Jake Paul simply cannot win. Dana even claims the fight might not be real, that if AJ doesn't knock Jake out instantly, it must be fixed. He says the only explanation is something behind the scenes, because on paper, there is no universe where Jake Paul should survive against Anthony Joshua. That comment alone has lit the entire boxing world on fire. Some people say the fight is a dangerous mismatch. Others say Jake deserves respect for taking such an insane risk. And a lot of fans think that if Jake performs even slightly better than expected, the conspiracy theories will explode. But here's the truth. Jake Paul is fighting a man who is bigger, faster, stronger, smarter, and vastly more experienced. This is the boldest, wildest, and most dangerous step of Jake's career, and he knows it. Dana White is panicking because he never wanted Jake Paul to reach this level. He never wanted Jake to earn real respect. He never expected Jake to step into true heavyweight boxing. Jake Paul is proving he'll fight anyone anytime, and Dana White simply can't handle that. Dana built his whole image around the idea that Jake is a fraud. But the moment Jake agreed to fight a prime Anthony Joshua, that narrative started falling apart. Now the pressure is enormous. If AJ destroys Jake, people will say, of course. But if Jake survives, or wins rounds, or lands something clean, or shocks the world even for a moment, it becomes one of the biggest stories in modern boxing. For better or worse, the entire combat sports world is watching. And whether Dana White likes it or not, this fight is happening, and the world will be watching every second. Stay locked in for more updates, breakdowns, news, events, and stories. Subscribe to Glovelord, turn on notifications, and don't miss the next chapter.